Do you know what today is? It's White History Wednesday. Hey, how you doing? This your girl, Maya Lamise. And for those of you who are new here, this is White History Wednesday, specifically made for the people who said, why do black people need an entire month to tell their history? And for that, I give you 52 days. You ready to hear it? Here it go. So the first thing I want to talk about today is using the hard ER versus the A. We're going to talk about it because y'all know this past week in 2 weeks, I've been talking about a situation that happened at the job that I got fired from, where the girl who was a part of showing my content to upper management, she been calling a black, mind you, she's a European immigrant. She's been calling a black girl a monkey, right? And, you know, I keep getting different stories, but the story I got today, this girl said, I'm not racist. I have black friends. And when I'm in the car listening to hip hop, I don't say the ER when the N word is said. So what do you say? Because you shouldn't be saying neither. I don't know. Do y'all give y'all European immigrant friends or any friends that are not black the pass to say the N word as long as they don't use the hard ER? White History Wednesday. Like, are you really think you're supposed to get a pass because you're not using the hard ER? White History Wednesday. Okay, now we're gonna keep on going because I'm not gonna dwell on that. Remember we talked about the Seminoles, right? Now I got some information on the meaning of Seminole, right? Because I seen a guy and he was talking about like Florida never had slaves, and I was like, wait a minute. Florida's a part of the South. How do they not have slaves? But I did talk about the longest war. If y'all remember that, keep that in the back of y'all mind. So the native term Seminoles means separatist, outcast, or runaway. And the Spanish term Cimarron means wild, untamed, and runaway, describing escaped livestock, i.e. slaves, right? Now, Florida became the refugee state for a lot of people because pretty much Florida wasn't going for it. They were not going for it. I told y'all about the Black Seminoles. That was literally one of my very first White History Wednesday episodes. We talked about the Black Seminoles and how they was put in BTA because they wasn't trying to be enslaved. Again, because a lot of them had ran away and escaped to Florida, and then they kind of like cohabitated with the Native Americans, which the Native Americans were black, but they, and they went to war. They was put in BTA for the longest war. Now, what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to go look up the Black Seminole, and I want y'all to come back in the comments and tell me how long they was battling for their freedom, or battling not even freedom because they were free. They just weren't trying to be conquered. Let me know how long that war was, because a lot of people think I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. White History Wednesday. But that's definitely another. I might have to make that a whole entire episode by itself, talking about that war and how people really feel like another big war that we know about was because of a certain thing. But no, black people was put in BTA and they couldn't contain them. That was the real problem. Anyway, did you know that in the 1800s each state had its own times? Like if you owned a sundial, you were the timekeeper for the state, for that state. So you told everybody what time it was. Like you literally could have just been playing in people's face all that time and nobody would really even know, because whoever had the sundial essentially ran shit. Now, right? This was an issue because trains were crashing because arrival and departure times weren't the same. Like you can leave South Carolina and go to Georgia, but your arrival time is not the time that you think it is because the time zone is different because the person who owned the sundial said it was a different time. You get what I'm saying? So that was an issue for the railroad track. So you know what they said? We're not doing this. We're going to do specific time zones. We're going to do Eastern, Central, Pacific, and Mountain Time. That's it. That's all. Okay. So if you heard me correctly, yes, the time zones were created by the railroad owners because they were tired of crashing their trains. It was costing them too much money. Now, 35 years later in 1918, that's when the government made the time zones official. Yeah, they didn't even come up with time zones themselves. That's crazy. White History Wednesday. Now, last week I told y'all I wanted to discuss Pangea, right? Do y'all remember that word? I hope y'all do, because we definitely about to take a deep dive into it right now. Because it's crazy. Did you know that pretty much Earth was all together? It was like a supercontinent, if you will. And that's what Pangea is. So think of the Earth like a big puzzle. Today, the continents look like separate pieces, like North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, Antarctica. But millions of years ago, all of those pieces were connected into one big super continent. Now, Earth crust has these large pieces called tectonic plates. We learned about this in school. Yeah, we ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole. But these plates are always moving and very slowly. They say like your fingernails growing, but it don't take my fingernails long to grow. So I know that's not true. Anyway, but because these plates move, the giant supercontinent eventually cracked and split and drifted apart over millions of years. And that's how the continents ended up where they are today. Now, the reason that Pangea is believed to be real is because scientists, they find matching fossils on continents that are now too far apart to even figure out, like, wait a minute, how did I get over there if we way over there thousands of miles apart? Yeah. And then also similar rocks and mountains on different content, and the shapes of the content. Pretty much, if you like had some type of 3D puzzle or I don't know, you take a map, cut it up, and put the pieces together, they fit for one big, huge supercontinent. Now Pangea was one giant continent that existed millions of years ago, and it broke apart from the continents we have today. Now, I do want to let y'all know that this is a reminder that the world started as one big place. And the humans, specifically the European immigrant humans, are the ones that divided it. Geography shaped history, but people shaped oppression. Okay? No race was naturally superior. No content was destined to rule. No, I'm saying no content. No continent was destined to rule over the rest. Geography created advantages, not genetics. And genetics is what created these damn fools that we got in office right now. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to take that dig. I had to take that dig. Now, before we get out of here, I do want to talk about the boycott, the Black Friday boycott. They want us to believe that it didn't work, but when you really sit back and think about it, that shit worked. It worked, and I'm gonna tell you why it worked, right? Because they are talking about the dollars spent and not the items bought. And I know y'all like, huh? It go hand in hand. You want to know why? With inflation and with the tariffs, prices are higher. So the people who did shop did spend more money because everything is more expensive. But there were less items bought because less people shopped. If you check the traffic across all of nationwide, it decreased. People weren't going to the stores like that. The stores were not packed like they usually were. So it worked, but they want us to think it didn't work. So that way we can still go out there and be like, it's no point in doing this. We're going to shop anyway. No, it worked. They playing in our faces. Point blank, period. But anywho, y'all, this has been another great episode of White History Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you get me on all platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube. Make sure you go stream my podcast, Beyond Normal with Maya Lamise. Also, the merch has been doing great, guys. Make sure y'all go get my new 222 drop. I make everything myself in-house. I post videos of me making it. So if you would love to support me, go ahead and grab you a shirt. Grab you an ebook, grab you a one-on-one so we can talk. Let's do it. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all have an amazing day. Don't let nobody stress you out. Do not. Okay? Love y'all.